Hey, what's up good people? Welcome to episode 3 of pwned, and at the end of episode 2 of pwned I told you guys that I had something really interesting to show you all, so I will kickstart things off by showing you an unboxing of this. Yes, I picked it up, Sonic Series Vortex Praxis. Yes, the rumors are not really rumors anymore. It is true, there is such a thing as a Vortex Praxis in a Sonic series, and yeah, much to a lot of you guys, I don't know, diss me, saying that, you know, it's just milking the cow. Hasbro is just, yeah, well, anyway, here it is. And yeah, if you guys have actually been following the blogs, you should be. If you're not, blogs like Urban Tigers, you know, they actually covered in the past that this might be a rumor. So what happened was SG Nerf. If you guys don't know who he is, then maybe you're not really that avid fans of Nerf, but anyway, SG Nerf actually posted this on the Nerf SG Facebook page, and apparently he was randomly browsing through the Taobao pages when he just came across this, and I thought, you know, I might give it a shot and try it out. The seller actually from Taobao was not a trusted seller, and nobody really knew if there really was going to be a Sonic Series Vortex Praxis. So I told myself, I own a Praxis and I don't own a Lumitron, so worst comes to worst, if that's the case, if this thing really isn't true, I just end up with a Lumitron. And I thought, you know, that's not so bad, because it was actually going for pretty cheap on Taobao. You guys know, yeah, Taobao. So I just went ahead and, well, lo and behold, it is true. As you can tell, the box is actually pretty beat up. I'm a little bit sad because I actually paid a very premium price for this shipping method, and well, it was packaged not so fantastically. It was all just bubble wrap and some masking tape, or some whatever tape you want to call it, a brown tape that is plastic, whatever, and it was crushed. And yeah, I don't even need a cutter anymore. As you can tell, it's already, you know, the tape is already ripped off. But anyway, just wanted to point this out to you guys. Everything seems to be the same except for the box art over here with Sonic Series Praxis, and there's this little sticker over here that is just stuck on. So I'm guessing that it actually came from Hong Kong, although it tells you to go and check out hasbro.com.cn, which is the China Hasbro site. Alright, and yeah, if you guys have actually been following those blogs that I mentioned, like for example Germ's blog, Nerf Mods and Reviews, and Pocket's blog, the Urban Tigers blog, you guys would have already known that yes, I have provided them with some pictures of the box and the blaster, but I want to show you guys what it really is like. So here we go. The back looks exactly the same as a Praxis box, so I wouldn't go into much detail there, just that the box art has been changed with a Sonic Series Praxis, and in this it looks really sick. Yeah, maybe because it just accents that whole alienish feel. So now I'm gonna just quit my yappering and open up the box for you guys. So first things first, what comes out is the clip. So show you guys the clip thing. Put this right there and throw this part away. Next part of the box comes out. Here we go, the blaster itself along with the stock. So I'm gonna take out the stock first because the stock is here. This aside, and I'll get to the blaster right now. And there's nothing else in the box except for a piece of cardboard that does not want to come out. So away the box. This is the main blaster itself, wrapped up nicely in the plastic. There's also one more over here that I'm taking out. Set this aside. Here we have the stock, which is still rather flimsy and wobbly, much like the original Praxis. And this is the interesting thing. Now, along with this Praxis comes a regular manual, you know, and in here it actually features the old original Praxis. So you can see it's not the Sonic Series Praxis. And these are instructions on firing off this blaster, on how to operate the blaster. And then they also included a Chinese version of this instruction manual. The funniest thing is that in the Chinese version, it's in full color, and it's on glossy magazine-ish type of paper, just that everything's in Chinese and full color, and yet it's not a Sonic Series Praxis, as you can see. So throw this aside, and I'm gonna just take out the tape on this thing. So here we go, the moment that you've all been waiting for. This is the Vortex Praxis in the Sonic series. Right, so I'm gonna attach the stock, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so now quick firing demo first. I'm gonna get some Vortex discs out. I'm just gonna fire a couple of shots off because it is essentially the same thing. When I have time, I would try and do a range comparison for you guys, but not right now because it's really late at night. So I'm gonna load 2 discs into this clip over here. Install it in. Should be it. There you go. Oh, the prime is really smooth. It's not like the first Praxis that I got. Yep, this thing works pretty fine. It's not dropping out like how it's supposed to. Oh, there it is. There we go. Guess had to be broken into. I don't know. I gotta pull it all the way. Well, oh well. Let's go to the side. And now, for the interesting thing that a lot of you have been waiting for. Yes, because of this, I actually went out of my way to buy myself a Lumitron. As you can see, it's still brand new. I threw away the box. And well, with the Lumitron comes the Firefly powered Firefly tech clip. And here it is in all its glory. And I've already installed the batteries. As you can see, there's a light and everything. And I'm going to install it into the Praxis, Sonic series Praxis, not the Lumitron. Turn on the switch, and this is what it looks like. And you can see a light over there. So now I'm going to turn off my room lights, and we'll see if this is any, spectacular. So here we go. So you guys can actually see, you can see the light from the front. Yeah, it's pretty bright. Hope I'm not blurring out the camera lens, but there's nothing much you can tell over here. You can see it's a little bit greenish over here, but this particular part looks a bit clear. I know it might be strange, but I don't think you guys can actually see me pointing. But anyway, this part over here, the body, is kind of clear, and well, you can just see the shine through the orange. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fire off a couple of shots in the dark, and let's see how it goes. So you guys can actually see. I hope you can. I'm gonna fire it off here at my cupboard. So I hope you guys can see that we're gonna duck this flying off. Alright, we're gonna turn on the lights again. Please bear with me. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna just clear up all the discs inside. It's really cool though, you can actually see the number of discs moving up. I'll show you guys in a short while. Okay, that's the last one. I'm not able to fire it anymore, so here it is. There's the middle part right there. You can see the discs moving up as you fire it, and I guess I gotta reload it. Alright. Okay. So check it out. I'm gonna put the camera over here so that you guys can actually see. Check out this area over here. You see the discs moving up as I fire it off. Okay, so here we go. Load it really slow. Yeah, now it's getting more obvious. So you see that moving? And I think that's pretty cool actually. And once you fired it all off and you clear the entire clip, you can actually see the light shining through. And I think that that's actually honestly pretty cool. So this was the unboxing of the Sonic series Praxis, and I really hope that you guys like this. I think it's actually pretty cool. It fits the whole Vortex series, a lot better than the N-Strike series. I don't know why. For some reason, it just seemed a bit weird to have, translucent green for an N-Strike blaster. But for this, maybe because of the way it's shaped and everything, and all the details, as you can see, all these crazy, like alienish, or I don't know, digital, ish kind of a, detailing on the blaster shell itself makes it look pretty good, and the green just goes pretty well. That's my opinion though. Alright, and one more thing I would like to show you guys. I can't find it right now. I gotta look for that thing. Okay, sorry about the delay, but I just wanted to show you guys the difference between the tint of orange, the orange shade on this Vortex Sonic series versus the Lumitron, the Praxis. As you can see, now I'm going to put the barrel side by side. Now on this it's a light orange, and on this is a very deep kind of a, I don't know, bright reddish orange, I suppose. This is more like the usual N-Strike blasters, kind of an orange, and this is more like, I don't know, the very first generation of long shots. I mean the yellow long shots that had like really bright reddish orangey kind of 6 dart clips. But yeah, so just for comparison, because yeah, I guess blogs like, you know, urban taggers were actually saying, you know, okay, this is cool because finally something that goes you know, in line with both, it crosses over both different sides of Nerf's blaster ranges. We have a Sonic series for the N Strikes, and we have a Sonic series for the Vortex now, and that means that I guess you could swap parts. But if you guys are actually familiar with this, this is a bipod that actually came from a Sonic series Stampede. Now, like I mentioned, this orange is a lot like the usual N Strike orange, as you can tell. Alright, so that means that this orange, these two, they just don't match up. Check it out. So I guess it would be a little bit strange to have like a very nice, you know, translucent green stuff and orange parts that don't really match. But that is my opinion. It's a personal thing. So anyway, I'm gonna try and give you guys a little comparison between this Praxis. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting the name because there's so many names now. Praxis against a stock Lumitron. Alright, so join me as I try and show you guys by hurrying down my hallway. No official range test like I mentioned before, but at least you have a rough gauge. Catch you later. Hey, what's up? So I'm actually here to do the firing comparison between Lumitron and the Sonic series Vortex Praxis. So what's gonna happen is basically I'm gonna be standing at this spot right here, okay? And I'm gonna be changing between the two blasters as I fire off. And with each time, in order to help me with my so-called quote-unquote aiming, don't flame me, I'm gonna be using this Recon leather sight. I'll be aiming through this hole, and I'll be looking at the iron sight right here, lining everything up in the middle as centered as I can, and I'll be firing off 5 shots each blaster into that red toaster. Now let me just get my camera and zoom it in for you guys. Now you check it out, there's a red toaster right at the end, okay? And you can actually see another camera. Let's go there. See that? From my finger, that thing over there, that's an iPad, and it's actually recording already. So yeah, so that's the red toaster over there, as you can see. Okay, so I'm gonna start it off, and very simply, inside this clip there are 5 green discs and 5 white discs, and the 5 green ones are going to be fired off from the Lumitron, and then the 5 white ones are going to be fired off from the the Sonic Praxis. Okay, so I'm going to go into my standing position, and I'll be firing off all 5 over there, and then we'll be having that little camera somewhere on the screen somewhere. Right, so here goes. So as you guys can probably tell, the disc will always just fly everywhere, they just fishtail, but apparently this one seems to be a little bit more consistent. I don't know if it's a plastic or is it because it's a fluke shot, but well, you can actually see that at least one of the white discs actually hit the toaster over there. So I would say that on average it's actually the same. I don't really know. Yeah, but anyway, as you guys can tell, the performance is roughly the same between these two blasters stock form. So yeah, it's just about the disc and how they fly. So I hope that you guys enjoy this part, and I'll catch you in the second part. Peace. Well, so I hope that piqued your interest in the Sonic series Vortex Praxis. I wonder if Hasbro will ever release any more Sonic series for the Vortex line. well, I actually said something a bit wrong in the previous part of the video. What I meant to say was that although the performance is roughly the same, which means that they get about average the same ranges, but apparently it seems that the Sonic Praxis is a bit more consistent than the Lumitron. So yeah, anyway, here's the next part. This is part 2. Now, what I have in my hand might be familiar to some of you. This is Guncon 2 by Namco for the Time Crisis series. Remember, we used to do this. I used to call it Time Crisis King. Yeah, like back in my old channel and my old video when I actually did the barricade clip mod. I used to do this. It's like Time Crisis King for the win. But anyway, I actually took, like, you know, a Guncon 2 with the buttons and everything. So this is the Guncon 2, right? And I actually converted it to this. So as you can see by the handle, it has a knife finder handle, and yep, it's a working blaster right now. And I would like to give credits to this guy called Eik. Yeah, E-I-K, Eik. His name is Andy Aikenberry. You should check out my video description for a link to his webpage. He does some really good mods, apart from his own designing work, but his paint jobs are really very good. I especially like one of his long shots with the tiger stripe camo mixed with the snake skin snake skin motif, and it's really very nice. You guys should just check it out. But anyway, well, you can have a look at this blaster first. Alright, and let me just show it to you guys first. This one that I actually made this way. Okay, now I'm gonna pull up a picture of Eik's version of the Guncon 2, and here it is. Right, now as you can tell by looking at the picture itself, his holds a knife finder plunger tube and a knife finder plunger rod, but for the output it's actually a bushing. And it's a bushing that I do not know what exactly the specs are. I've never seen a bushing like that in real life, only in pictures. And if you see towards the middle of the body, you can actually see like there's a slot cut out in order to accommodate the knife finder plunger tube. Alright, so anyway, away with the picture. Okay, so now compare that to this. I've actually maintained these buttons over here, and I actually glued them in place so they're solid. So there are no visible holes except for this side. Now what used to be here were a couple of rubber buttons that didn't really match. You can see the rubber buttons over here. These are actually for start and select, but I kept these two buttons, and this thing at the bottom used to be a button, and I just put it in place. It's still loose, but I just left it there. So yeah, minimize the damage done to the cosmetics externally. Now how did I do it internally? Well, check out this video so you can get a better idea. Alright. Okay, so here we are with my Guncon, and I've already removed all the screws, and there are 5 screws to this gun. It's not called a blaster. I mean, now it's called a blaster technically, but before there was just a light gun for your PlayStation. But anyway, if you realize, there's one small screw and the rest are all the same. And the small screw actually goes here, this port over here. That's the one small one. And yeah, you like my mouse, right? One of you actually commented, or some of you actually commented my mouse. So now it's glowing, I think it's purple, but I can change that. So now it's light blue, red, green, dark blue, and back to purple. You can't really tell on the camera, but it is purple. It's a pretty good mouse. Okay, not about the mouse, but back to the Guncon. Anyways, Guncon 2, so when you open it up, right, this originally was a button, and I actually super glue it. You can see it. Yeah, super glued it down in place. Right, yeah, so there we go, super glued it down. Right, so now on the inside you can see a whole bunch of junk, and I just want to stress again that everything here is all made out of scrap parts. Right, so this was off some funny tube that I had lying around, and that's some E-tape. And then this over here is a 1/2" CPVC coupler, and all these white stuff, these little things, they are like foam stickers that I believe are supposed to go into your shoe to line your shoe up when you're having problems with like bunions or with blisters, and they're really soft. So I decided to just grab a bunch because I had a whole bunch lying around that had been around for like years at least. So I mean they're all self-adhesive, so I just stuck some on, and this is to, I guess, to help to center the barrel. This barrel is made out of I believe it's a Hornet. Was it a Hornet? Yeah, it's a Hornet pump tube, and inside the plunger head is made out of a Hornet pump head. So yeah, this black thing over here is silicone. It's a silicone kind of a let me just show you guys what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Silicone sealant. Just had this lying around and I didn't have to go out to the shop to buy it. So yeah, the reason why I'm using silicone sealant is because, well, I'm trying to give this portion over here at the end of the pump tube sort of a cushion. Now it's pretty good cushion, I think, and well, there is a PETG tube on the inside here, and I melted it, or I heated it up, and then I shaped it in such a way that it would go up and out. Yeah, I can't really show it to you right now because it's covered up, but I'll show it to you later. Alright, and then this thing over here, this C-shaped thing, this part, okay, this C-shaped thing, this black thing over here, and there's another one on the back. Now you can see the, what you call this, the catch plate. Now let me just show it on this other half so you can see where the other piece is. So there, right here, this white piece over here, these are all made up of PEX tubing, and PEX is like this. This is CPVC, this one over here, and this is PEX. Now I bought a whole bunch of PEX when I was in New York last July, and you know, because thinking you know, it could be a pretty good barrel material, but no, it turned out to be just too tight. Now the OD is about the same as CPVC, but the ID is just way too tight for any dart application, and therefore I have a whole bunch of it, and well, it's all sort of scrap material, so I like to use it for spacers and things like that. But what's cool about it is actually made of, I guess, a kind of a nylonish feeling kind of material, and it's really smooth on plastic, and that is why it's pretty good, really good for your catch plate. And it's really smooth and it slides up and down. So as you can see, the way I lined it up, the catch plate, I guess you could imagine like a C-shaped piece on either end, both halves, and then you have the catch piece sitting in between. So now this C-shape nests the catch plate inside, and this part over here blocks it from dropping out. I know it's kind of hard for you to understand, but that's my idea and it's working out. Now I have a little yellow piece over here, and this was actually salvaged off the back of a night finder. Right, so you can see the night finder rod, the night finder catch plate that I actually had to shave off this part and the bottom part. And this is the stock trigger with the stock trigger spring. And I have two little holes over here because they used to have little rubber buttons that I did not salvage. I kind of misplaced, so that's my bad. So this is what my internals look like. Everything's just scrap material. Alright, so it's a pretty fun mod. Right, so back to the main video, and I hope that this gives you some insight on how I actually did this. Now I just want to stress again that everything was done without the use of any power tools, so no Dremels, nothing. I just used nibblers. You know, as you can see, all these cuts are all made out of nibblers, and this was like, all I did was I I basically literally took a file and it just went at it. So yeah, I kind of filed it down. Right, so all these, the PEX tubings were all cut with scissors, and everything else is hot glue, and this silicone sealant. Now the rest of it, this part's all hot glued down. This part is not. It's just, you know, with the cushion. So yep, catch you in the main video. See you later. So I hope that gave you a better insight on how I actually did the internals for this thing. Like, mind you, again, I would like to say that everything was made out of scrap materials that I had lying around. Now this was a really fun project to me, and I was really inspired when I saw Ake's well, his Guncon, and I thought, hey, you know, this is pretty cool. And I had a couple of Guncons lying around because, you know, time crisis came. No, I'm not good at time crisis, please don't take my word for it. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun mod. You know, I don't really have time to play with my PlayStation anymore. I don't even own a PS anymore. I have a PS2, but it's like chucked in a corner. I'm actually, you know, I actually own an Xbox 360, I'm sorry, an Xbox 360 with a Kinect, but I don't use it at all. So yeah, I thought they would be pretty fun, and it turned out to be actually honestly pretty fun. Now on the inside area that you guys actually saw was a bunch of silicone. So what that area was actually is exactly like this. Now this is a piece of PETG that I had. Now this was my test piece, I guess, because I can salvage the rest. But anyway, I didn't want to heat it up too close to the edge in case I didn't have enough control. So what I did was simply I got a lighter, I heated it up from far away, maybe about this much. That's about 8 centimeters, 10 centimeters. Now 8 centimeters away, and I just rolled it as I heated it up until this thing started to become like, you could see it started to turn a little bit wet. I don't know, wet, and then it would start to droop like wax. So I actually grabbed these two parts and I actually just shifted it up and down in this fashion, trying to maintain that they be parallel to each other. And I got this when it cooled down. I thought it was pretty sturdy. Airflow was honestly pretty smooth. There's no obstruction, doesn't feel like it. So once I put the half-inch PVC coupler, CPVC coupler, half-inch CPVC coupler, and the Hornet pump tube in place, I kind of measured it like that. And then I just, well, trial and error, heated it up, shifted it in place, cut off the edges, put some E-tape around, shoved it in, machine screwed everything down with goop, so now it's totally airtight in between the two. Now that's also the reason why I had to use the silicone over there, because silicone, when it cures, it becomes like a little rubbery, cushiony kind of material, substance, I guess, a texture, and this joint over here is probably the weakest part of all. So you know how night finders, or you know how direct plungers work, every time you fire it, it smashes against the front. So I was afraid that, although yes, it was hitting a screw, I was afraid that because the coupler here was actually resting against the front of the blaster, that the pressure might cause this to keep on hitting this part over here, and it might just bend out of shape, and it might crack like that eventually, and then over time it would just snap. And I didn't want that because, well, it's kind of hard to replace that part of the mod. So that is why I use silicone and I put it there. So enough of my talking. Now I'm gonna give you guys a firing demo of this gun, Guncon 2. So I get to call it a gun. So anyway, I have with me a really short stub of CPVC, and this is about, I would say, 3 inches long, because I have a 1.5 inch dart. So I'm just gonna load a white foam dart via the back. Alright, and the seal is not 100%, it's about 75 to 80%, which is pretty good. Good enough for me, because this is really just for fun kind of blaster. Right, prime it, and I'm gonna fire it off here. Now I actually tested it out with a 5-inch long CPVC barrel, and that proved to be too long. It will get stuck halfway, about 4 inches down, so that's why I'm using a 3-inch barrel. Alright, so now I'm gonna just load this one from the front, just to show you guys and see how this actually works out, how it actually fits. I'm just gonna get something to push it down a little bit more, like a ramrod. Here we go. Oops, my bad. Let it slip. Okay, here we go, one more time. Alright, so thin foam darts actually have a slightly looser fit in CPVC, and I think that would attribute to better ranges. So now I'm just going to show you guys a firing demo of one of these Tiger darts. Right, and it actually fires off pretty good. The average range that I'm getting is about 44 feet. Of course, with Stefan's it's getting slightly better, about 46 to 48, but don't take my range test results. I don't take my range test results seriously. That's what I wanted to say, I'm sorry. So here we go. That's pretty good. So yeah, I think it's a really fun project. It is a really fun project to me. I really had a lot of fun doing this mod. Once again, thanks to Ake for the inspiration. I know he probably doesn't even know I exist, or he doesn't even know what I'm doing, but that I did this. But anyway, yeah, it's really pretty fun. The next time around I might try to do the same way he did with a night finder plunger tube, but that is just like, too wide for the shell. So I don't know, I might think of something else if I'm able to find an even better plunger tube material. I might, like, I could salvage this, I don't know. And that brings us to the end of this episode, episode 3 of pwned. But before I go, I just want to bump my friend's channel. Now, one of the users, I guess members of the Nerf SG forums, and pretty good modder himself, cool guy, good friend of mine, and Atani's, and I met him through Atani. In fact, his name is Hat. We call him Hat, H-A-T, for horse hat tail. But you can check out his channel. He's recently gotten into doing like a YouTube channel with like a vlog style kind of thing, and his channel is known as Mad Horse Stick. So check out this annotation over here. So I hope you guys will show him some support. Now he's running this cool GoPro setup thingy, so he has like some cool wall footage, So yeah, his videos are gonna be high quality, compared to mine and Atani's, because Atani's one is worse than mine, hint. But anyway, yeah, so I hope you guys will go check him out. He's actually the guy that modified that Guru that Atani actually reviewed. If you guys don't know what video I'm talking about, check out this link over here. He's the one that made the Singapore version of the Guru, and well, that's all I have to say. his works speak for his level of modding. Alright, so once again, thanks guys on behalf of this Guncon and that Sonic series Praxis, which is inside my cupboard that I'm lazy to take out. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in episode 4. And in episode 4 I still have some really interesting stuff to show you guys, and I really can't wait to share with you. It's something rather surprising to me that I actually came across, and I thought that it was really cool. Stay tuned for that. See you again. Have a good week. Peace.